Hey everyone! So in the previous video, I walked you through how to set up our document for this short brochure. I also walked you guys through how to place images, how to add color swatches, and create these footer folio tabs in master pages. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to import your type, apply paragraph styles, apply some character styles, and start bringing this document to life. So I'm in my example document here. Let's jump back over to our tutorial document, and I'm going to scroll down to page 2. Now in our Word document, what you can see is we have a bunch of body copy, just like this. And what I want to do is I want to copy and paste pretty much everything from the bottom of the bottom sirloin paragraph up to the Know Your Cuts section. Actually, that's a lie. What I'd like to do first is take from this we don't eat ribs every night bit and come down to the bottom sirloin bit. So we're going to do that. We're going to hit copy, Command C, and we're going to come into InDesign. We are going to draw out a text box about half the page, coming to just above our footer, and we're going to hit paste. And now this type here in this text box doesn't really look that great. There's tons of little formatting things that we need to take care of. The first one being that in our example, you can tell that we have 3 columns of text. And no, this is not 3 different text boxes. It is one text box. To create columns within a text box, you just need to select your text box, right click, and go into text frame options. There we go. And this dialog box will pop up, and you can literally just click up here, columns, number, and we want to make it 3 columns. And that's about it. We want to make sure that our columns are the same width as the columns that we find on our page, just so that everything lines up nicely to our grid. And that's everything that I need to do in here. So we can hit OK. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is formatting our typography. There's a few different ways that we can go about this, but I ideally just want to create a new paragraph style. Paragraph styles are excellent resources. You should be using them in every single document because they create a sense of consistency across your entire project. They also allow you to go in and make large formatting changes in small single clicks, and everything is sort of tied into one place, so there's no guessing where other elements are going to be. So to do this, what I want to do is I want to select all of my text. I'm going to go in here and create a new paragraph style from our paragraph styles panel. If this isn't open for you, you can click Window, Styles, Paragraph Styles. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click our paragraph style to open it, and I'm going to call this body copy. There we go. And under basic character formats, I want to use Roboto. Roboto is one of those typefaces that you can get from Adobe Fonts. You can just sync the entire thing into your library, and I'd highly suggest it. If you don't want to use Roboto, just use another sans serif typeface of your choosing. I'm going to shrink this down to about 10 points. Seems fine. I'm going to increase the leading a bit just to make it more breathable. I'm going to track it out to about 10 just so maybe, let me see here. Yeah, 10 looks nice, or 20 looks nice. So we'll do that. We'll leave the case at normal, kerning at optical. And so far, I think all of that should be okay. We'll probably be coming back here and making some adjustments to things like character color, indents and spacing, things like that. Actually, you know what? While we're here, let's just deal with the indents and spacing. Indents and spacing is terrific. This is a wonderful place to set these parameters. For example, if we hit left indent, you'll notice every single panel indents to the left a little bit. That doesn't actually mean that it's just the first line of the first paragraph. If you only want the first line to have an indent, what you have to do is come here to first line indent. 1/8 of an inch or maybe 1/4 of an inch is probably the maximum that you would like to do this. I personally have found I don't mind 1/8 of an inch, but that's just me. The other thing though, I'm probably not even going to use this because what I'm going to use instead is space after. Space after refers to the space after a paragraph is finished or after there is a hard return. If you have a big enough gap using space after, sometimes that can take the place of a first line indent. Sometimes you want to have a combination of these, but for now, I think this looks fine and I'm very comfortable with this. Everything else is fine, but if you wanted to, in another project, you could adjust the alignment here as well. You could do just ragged adjustment or ragged alignments, or you could do justified. You can also justify things towards and away from the spine, but I'm just going to leave mine at left. So we can hit OK, and already you can tell our type looks much nicer. Now, the next thing we're going to bring in is actually the title content for this page. Know your cuts. Let's bring in know your cuts, and we can create our type tool. We can drag a text box out that is 2 columns wide. We can paste our type in, and I'm going to highlight it using Command A, and I'm going to come over here and create another paragraph style. I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to call this title. Under basic character formats, what I want to use is Roboto slab. There we go. And I'd like this to be Roboto slab bold. This can be much larger. We're probably going to look at something like 30. Whoops. Sorry guys, I hit enter and exited out of the paragraph styles menu. That's something I'm pretty bad for. I'm actually probably going to need this to be about 40. There we go. We can kern this optically, and we can probably just track it out ever so slightly. Cool. Now, I think that's probably all that I need in terms of formatting options. Under character color, I'm going to come here and use our red section. You can hit OK. And I'm just going to check back at our Harriet meets to know what's going on. And I lied. I thought we were going to use Roboto slab for this. It's my mistake. So this is a brilliant teachable moment in paragraph styles, because if you don't like the typography choice that you chose for an entire sort of format of your document, you can actually go back in and you can choose something different. So in this case, I'm going to choose Industry Inc. and I'm going to go and choose the inline section. There we go. And I think 40 looks to be about all right. There we go. Industry Inc. is another typeface you can get from Adobe Fonts. You can download or you can sync the entire typeface. There's tons of different widths and styles for you to choose from. It's a really cool one to know. So underneath it, we have Roboto slab in sort of a light gray color. Actually, we could probably drag this out to the 3rd column, and we can come back under title, basic character formats, and just scooch that up a little bit, decrease the tracking. Yeah, let's decrease the tracking back down and scooch that back up to 43. Lovely. Okay. And now the next thing we're going to do is drag out another text box the same width. And we can go into our Word document. For those of you who aren't familiar with the shortcut I just used, Command Tab lets you shuffle through programs that you have open. It's a phenomenal shortcut to allow your fingers to always stay on the keyboard. I highly suggest it. So I hit copy. I'm going to paste the typography into there. I'm going to highlight all of this type, and I'm going to create a new paragraph style again. This paragraph style is going to be called subtitle, or subheading actually. We're going to call this subheading. There we go. Under basic character formats, I want this to be Roboto slab. Perfect. Bold is fine. This could actually probably be, let's say 13. definitely want to increase the leading on this, so I'm just going to bring it out. We could probably actually make this, yeah, 16, size 16 looks good. And under character color, we can choose our blue tone. We can come back up to basic character formats. We don't need to worry about any other justifications or indents and spacing options. This is a pretty basic character style. So let's hit OK. And now one thing that I'd like to show you guys is this really, really good feature under type. It's called show hidden characters. And when you hit show hidden characters, all these special symbols start to show up. One of the crucial things to know about show hidden characters is the difference between a hard return right here, this little backwards P icon, and what we're about to do, which is called a soft return. So a soft return, you hit shift and then enter, and it will create a long dash with a line at the bottom. This does drop a word down to the next line, but it will not apply any formatting that might be applied to an actual hard return. In this case, if I was to drop the word most down using a hard return, what you'll notice is it puts space after the hard return right here. Whereas if we hit backspace, bring it back up, and we were to hit shift return, it puts in a soft return, the formatting options do not apply, and most retains the space between lines that is effective for the rest of the paragraph. So that's just your difference between hard return, soft return. It's very important that you know the difference because they're crucial when you're formatting documents. So the next thing that I'd like to do is just sort of shrink this text box up, shrink this guy up just a little bit, just so that things fit a little bit more snugly. And we can bring this down. We can shift click and select both of these, bring this down ever so slightly. And we're on our way. We're almost pretty there. We're almost pretty good. Wow, pretty there. I can speak really well today. Now, the next thing that I will be taking care of is creating these subheading paragraph styles here. Let me just double check that that's what they are and that they're not a character style. 1 second. Okay, let me just double check. Yes, so they are a subheading. Terrific. I thought they were, just needed to double check. So what we can do is we can come back over to our short document and we'll find boneless short rib really quick, create a new paragraph style, and we'll call this subtitle. There we go. Basic character formats, Roboto regular. This time though, I want it to have an underline, and under character color, I want it to be the red tone. Let's just jump back up to basic character formats for a second. I actually want this to be bold as well. And I think that should be it. Let's hit OK. There we go. Lovely. What I'm actually going to do too is I'm going to select the subtitle. Select subtitle. And I'm going to go down to indents and spacing. There it is. And I'm just going to pull this up a little bit, just so that it's closer to the actual segment that we're going to be talking about. And now I'd like to apply this to my other subtitles. To do that, you can simply highlight, go through and select all of the options here. And while that didn't take very long, it is kind of tedious and annoying. There's a faster way you can go about it. So I'm just going to Command Z my options here. And I'm going to use the keyboard. I'm going to select this line of text here, and I'm going to hit Command Enter. Command Enter brings up a quick apply menu, and this is a really cool place because it just lets you navigate through InDesign easily without lifting your fingers off the keyboard. So I'm going to type in subtitle. There it is. I'm going to hit Enter, and it applied the typeface or the paragraph style to our line of text. And now we can just navigate to the next line, Command Enter, and because that was the last, that was the last thing that we applied, you can see that it's right there, so you just use the arrow keys to shift down and hit Enter to apply. Now I'm just going to come over here and quickly do the same thing. Command Enter, subtitle, boom, there we go. There is all 4 of our subtitles nicely formatted. And just to deal with this little awkward gap here, I'm going to come in and just shrink the size of this text box down. That's probably as close as we're going to be able to get this, so I'm fine there. And I can just click and drag these guys closer down to our text box, and we have a really nicely formatted first page. To do the second page, it's going to be very similar to the first one. In fact, we could probably just copy, and I'm going to hit W to bring back all of our working guides. I'm going to paste, and I'm going to make sure that it is formatted in the same spot. Now, if you wanted to make sure that this was exactly in the same place, we could delete this and hit Command Alt Option Shift V, and it will paste in place. It will put it in the exact same spot, and there's no more guesswork about what has to get done here. So we have our second page of information, and it is the cut above section. So I'm going to take from over the years all the way down to of their food, Command C, and I'm going to paste all of that information in there. Looks good. Now, if we go and look at our example document, you'll notice on the last spread, there is really not too many fancy options going on here. There is this one red line that says over the years we have, and that is not a paragraph style. I'm going to show you what that is, and it is a character style. So character styles differ from paragraph styles because instead of adjusting entire blocks of typography, they can adjust smaller sections, perhaps even just one letter, one character, for example, or you can apply it to maybe just one line. I would suggest if you're going to use character styles, never try and adjust more than like one line of text at a time. So we can create a new character style. We can call this first line. There we go. Basic character formats. All of this can stay the same. I'm going to actually, yeah, all of this can just sort of, we know what's going on here. We can just make it Roboto. Oh, come on, don't be difficult. Roboto. Come on. Sometimes this menu is not the greatest in terms of dealing with stuff. You know what? I'm going to show you guys a different way to navigate through this. You could go through and set all of your character style information using this menu, but there's actually another way to do it. So I'm just going to can this character style. I'm going to hit OK. And what we can do here is we can actually use our character formatting panel up here to get the job done. So we can create all caps. We can change the color information to the red color. We can probably track this out a little bit just so that it takes up more of the line. And that's probably, instead of regular, I want this to be bold. Cool. So now you can see that our top line stands out amongst the rest. And a quick shortcut to apply a character style here is going to be to have your text highlighted, hit new character style, and double click. You'll notice that all of the information should have filled in, but it didn't really want to. So we still have to go in and click on Roboto, not Roboto slab. I do not know why it is being that difficult. Let's just use Roboto. There we go. Size was 10. Leading was, I believe, 15. Kerning, optical, tracking is fine, all caps. It should retain the color. There we go. So when you do it this way, it will automatically retain some of the information, but sometimes it is a little bit difficult and doesn't like to play around very nicely. So we can hit OK. And I forgot to relabel mine, so I'm just going to call this first line again. Hit enter. There we have it. And the nice thing is I can scroll back up to our first spread here, and I can apply it to our first line of text. Actually, looks like it's only going to work up to that. So we can hit OK. And there we have it. Isn't that lovely? So we can copy Command C by clicking and shift clicking both of these text boxes, and we can bring them down. Command Alt Option Shift V will paste them in place. And now it's just a matter of quickly copying and pasting our titles. And I'm going to use Alt Tab to jet back over to Word, Command C, Command A to select all, Command V to paste, and it looks like we have to take care of a few hyphenated words. So we're going to use a a soft return by hitting Shift Enter, and that actually takes care of the awkward hyphenated word here. But I don't want to have just one word dangling on the bottom, so I'm going to soft return the word the, and now everything looks peachy clean. Unfortunately, though, there is an awkward amount of white space here, so to take care of that, I'm just going to shrink our typeface down. Everything will auto shift to the side, and I can just sort of drag these guys down here. Terrific. So that is our basic paragraph styles and character style formatting for typography. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to create basic custom shapes, apply a transparency, and create a call out for this short document. So I'll see you guys there.